Hi everyone. In this session, let's discuss about Java 8 interview questions. In my last session, I have explained a few interview questions on Java 8 new features. In this sessions also, I am going to cover few more interview questions. And in this answer discussion, I will explain each concept. So conceptually, you will get clarity, and also you will came to know that what are the important interview questions, and so that it will be easy to crack any of the interview. So let's discuss one by one questions in the Java 8 new features. Okay. So first question, we'll see what are the default method. Default method introduced in Java 8 in a interface. We can add a default method, and if you wanted to provide any default implementation, so that you wanted to use that default implementation in all the implemented class by that interface, it will be benefited. Generally, before Java 8, suppose we are having a interface, and if we'll add a new method in that interface, and so what you need to do, all the implemented class will show a compile time error. You need to override all the implemented class, right? So that is not a problem now, or from Java 8 onwards. Let's see, I will show you example, it will be more clarity. For example, you see here, a is a interface and having one method, that is abc. Okay, all the method is public and abstract inside this interface, right? So this abc method of a interface, and this a interface implemented by two class, demo1 one class and demo2 another class. Demo1 implemented by interface a, and demo2 also implemented by interface a. So as they are implemented, they have to override that abc method, so they have overridden. So here, if we'll add a new method here, so what will happen? You will get compile time error here. He's saying you have to implement that newly added method. Add on implemented method is showing, right? So here also it is showing. Okay. So Java 8, it is allowing to add a default method. Okay. So if we'll add a default method means a method having body. If we'll add this kind of method, no need to, we will not get any error. So this is the importance of default method. So two reason is there. One reason is, as I told, if we'll add any new method in the interface, no need to worry for the implementer class. It will not show any error because it is a concrete method. It is a default method. Okay. So another reason is, suppose we wanted to provide a common body, and we want that method will use for all the implemented class, child class. So if we wanted to make use of it, so we'll do that. So that is the importance of default method. From Java 8 onwards it came. Okay, let's move to next questions. Is it necessary to override default methods of interface in Java 8? You see, default method already, it is a dummy implementation already provided by that interface. If you wanted to use that dummy implementation in your implementation class, then you will use it. Otherwise, if you are not satisfied, then you can override and you can provide your own implementation to use. So it is not mandatory. If it is required, if you want a new implementation body, you can override and you can provide your own implementation. That is the reason. Let's move to next question. Is the default keyword one of the access modifiers? No, default is not the access modifiers like private, protected and public. It's a keyword actually. It's not a access modifier like private or public or protected. Okay. So next, it's a very tricky interview questions. Okay. So how to override default methods? Generally, if you wanted to override a method, what you will do? You will keep the same method signature, right? Signature means name and that parameter or arguments, right? And we need to remove this default keyword, and we need to add a public keyword, okay, and you need to provide your own implementation. Why we need to remove the default keyword? Before Java 8, this default, now also post Java 8 also, default in a class we used in one case only, that is in switch case. We are defining as a default case whenever we are having multiple switch case and any of the switch case is not matching, it will go to the default case. That is the place we'll use that default. And other than that, default cannot be a access specifier here, okay. So you see how to override. Let override that. So here, this mno method, let's override here, okay, in demo1 class. So to override that, what we need to do, we need to define the same signature, okay. I told you need to define the same signature, okay, and you need to provide your own body. Okay, so you see, you need to define, you need to make it public, okay. Why? Because default it will provide here, we are restricting, right? So you see, this is actually by default all the method inside the interface is public and abstract. So even though it is not, default is a keyword to denote this uh, default method in Java 8 interface, okay, but implicitly here also public is there, the access specifier of this default method is public, okay. So if the access specifier is public, you have to make as public, you cannot restrict it. That's right, the default we should not use, you should use public, and you can provide your own method, own implementation method. And how to use it, it's like now you are in demo class, right? You need to create a demo class object. In a main method you will create a demo class object, and you will call that method. You can call this default method, default overridden method, and also you can call by using this object, you can call this abc method. So you see, if I am from demo one, this default method is getting called, okay. And in abc method we have not write any line, so it is not showing anything, okay. So how to override it, I told, right? Method signature you need to put, and you need to remove that default keyword, but you need to put public, because you cannot reduce the visibility of overridden default method, and you need to provide your own implementation as you need, okay. Then move to next question, can we use hash code default implementation interface? So hash code, toString, all these Java object class methods, okay. We are having final method, all these object class method, we are not we are not allowed to override object classes methods. Object class method we are not allowed to override. If we try to use the object class method as a default method, we'll get a compile time error, okay. So don't think that like hash code method will provide our default implementation in a interface, and so that anyone can use that, okay. So that is the means we cannot use any method of object class as a default method, okay. So all implementing classes by default has access all methods of object class. Object class is the super class of all the classes, right? So by default those methods are present to our child class, means implemented class, implementing classes, okay, child classes. So we are it is restricted, we cannot use that any method, okay. So hash code method also we cannot use as a default method. So next, move to next question, how methods in interface cope up with diamond problem. What is diamond problem? In two interfaces, in multiple interfaces, if we have same default method, then that is known as diamond problem. Due to this diamond problem in Java, we don't have multiple inheritance. Okay, so if two classes, if supported means one same method, and we wanted to extend two classes to one class, then it will be problem. So but in interface, that's right, we don't have multiple inheritance in Java, right? But in interface, now in interface we can have default method, like we are having body method. Okay, so concrete method. So in that case, how we will support this in case of interface? Okay, so we need to use interface name dot super. Okay, let's see one example. So diamond problem, how to handle it, I will show here. Okay, let's see. Suppose, as I told, B is a interface having one method BSC, and C is a interface having a method CBA, and demo 3 is a implementer class which is implementing both B and C interfaces. So he has to provide the implementation of all the method belongs to B. So one method is there BSC, and C one method is there CB. Now let's say there is one method which is present in both B interface and C interface. Let define a default method, and same default method will provide here also. Mm, Body can be different. Okay, it will provide here, so it will not allow. You see, body can be anything, but the method name is same, right? This is void MNO, this is also MNO BC, and this is both B and C we are implementing, right? So we are getting a error. Okay, so how to solve that? We need to mention, we need to override here in this demo 3 class, we need to override. Otherwise we are referring to B class method or C class method, how compiler will know that? That's right, in compile time it is showing an error. So we need to override like this, override default method. Either B method you need to override, or C interface method you need to override. So how to override? This is the syntax. You need to use B means interface name dot super dot method name. Okay, this way you can call, you can use. Otherwise you can refer this C. Okay, this is the way. That's right. So diamond problem of default methods of interface means if two implemented interface contain same default methods, then that's the diamond problem. If two interfaces contain same method, in Java, in such situations the code will not compile. Solutions to diamond problem is use interface name dot super dot method. Okay, so next question is, why static methods were introduced in Java 8? You know, in Java 8, not only default method, we can have a concrete with a body method, static method. We can define uh, a method as static in a interface. Okay, what benefit we'll get? Okay, so if you wanted to provide some utility method, okay, and you wanted to call those utility method by using the interface name, no need to create the class name, or no need to create the object of the class. Okay, so you know interface is less costly, like less memory used, right? It is more efficiency, right? And performance is more because interface doesn't have constructor, does not have static blocks, and no need to create any object and all. Okay, so it will be like faster and it is simple, right? So suppose we wanted to provide a method and we wanted to just use it, so by using that interface name, any implementer class can use. Hence we don't need to create an object, and hence if you have everything static, then go for interface rather than class. So this flexibility from Java 8 we are having. Let's see one example here. Okay, you see this example. Okay, there is a interface A, and we are having a public abstract method. Okay, so this is the static method. Okay, so we mention here static. So if we are implementing this interface A to this demo 2 class, so we need to override this public static method, and no need to override. We cannot override the static method. Okay, it is not inheriting. Okay, it is there in this interface A. And how to call that? You can call by using the interface name dot method name. You see, even we, as it is not inheriting, static is never participate in overriding or inheriting. So if it is not there in this demo2. If you wanted to access by using this demo2 object obj dot s method, you cannot do that. It will show a compile time error. You see what it is saying? The method s method is undefined for the demo2 because it is not defined. But anywhere you can use, not only for in this implementer class or child class you can call that method, but also if you wanted to use inside this interface also you can call. I will show you one more example. Okay, you see this, there is a interface phone. Okay, and there is a abstract class call, and this is a static method. Okay, this is a static method. So is null. Okay, and another default method is there, that is message. Okay, so what it is doing, this default method is it is accepting a message and validating whether that message is null or not. If it is not null, then it is a valid message, then it is sending that message. Okay, and there is another static method. Let me remove this. Okay, to make it simple. So you understood, right? In this is phone is a interface. We are having three types of method. One is default method, another is abstract method, and another one is static method. So what this default method is doing, it is accepting a argument, that is a message, and it is trying to check whether that message is not blank, it is not null. Then it is, if it is valid message, then send it. Otherwise, don't send. So that is the reason. So how it will be validate? It will use a utility method which is present here. So this is a static method. We are defining we are defining here in this phone interface, and we can making use of here itself. Okay. So if we'll call this, so we need to override, right? We implemented this iPhone to phone is the interface, and we have to override this call method. If you call, and you have to override. Okay, and if you wanted to call this message, so if you pass a message, it will validate by using this utility method, right? So this is the use of static method. So it is I explained, right? It is less costly, and if you wanted to provide a utility method, no need to create object and all, no need to refer any class and all. Only you will use that interface name, and you can call that method as it is simple. Okay, are static methods available to implementing classes by default? No, it's not available. Just now I showed, right? Because static is not a participate in inheriting or overriding, right? Static methods are not available for implementing classes. They are not default methods, they are static. Hence, you can call these methods using the interface name explicitly from the implementing classes. As implementing classes won't have access to those methods directly. This is the disadvantage of static method of interface, that is not available to implementing classes. It is not available, but you can call by using that interface name. It is not inheriting in really, because static is always static. It cannot be part of means implementing, or sorry, inheriting, or uh, uh, deriving. Okay, so, or overriding. Okay, so that's it. So I will explain few more question in a different session, in a separate session. Otherwise video will be lengthy. Thanks for watching. If any doubt, please comment in my video, I will respond. Thank you so much for watching this.